Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to ASTC. So, in this video, we will start Ungrouped Frequency Distribution Table, which is the second topic of this chapter. Okay. All right. So, first of all, what is different in in this type of data and the raw data that we studied in the previous lecture? Okay. So, let us see. In ungrouped frequency distribution table, the data is still raw data. However, due to large number of similar values, frequency is added in the table. Okay. Now, what does the word frequency means in this context? The word frequency, or the number that is represented by frequency, tells us how many times a value is repeated in the data set. Okay. So for this purpose, I'll give you an example. Let us say that the number of goals scored by team X in 13 matches are as follows. Okay, so we have a team X, okay, and in a particular football season, this is the following data set tells you that these are the goals which were scored in 13 matches. Okay, so what we can do is, now this is raw data, right? So just like in our previous video and the previous lecture that we studied about raw data, if we try to find the mean, so we are going to use the formula mean equals sigma x upon n. So this is the sum of all the values, okay, and divide it by the number of values, which is 13. So that would give you 32 divided by 13, which is 2.46. Okay, but you can notice one thing, that in this particular data set, there are certain values which are repeating more than once. Okay, so you can see that 1 is repeating twice, 2 is repeating 4 times, then you have 3 which is repeating 3 times, you have 4 which is repeating 2 times. Okay, so when you have this type of data where there are a lot of similar values, then there is a better and more concise way of representing the data as well as calculating the mean. Okay, so let's see what is that better approach. Since there are repetitive results, we can draw a frequency table. So the first row is the number of goals which were scored, and that is your X. So what are the possible data? You can have zero goals, okay, which was there. Okay, then you have one goal, you have two, three, four, and five. Now, how many times were they repeating in the total data set? That is given by frequency. So for example, if I zoom this out, so you can see that the number of goals zero, that occurs once in your data set. The number of goals one, that occurs two times, right? So you have one and two. Two goals were scored in four matches, so one, two, three, and four, therefore your frequency is four, and so on. Okay, so three goals were scored in three matches, four goals were scored in two matches, and five goals were scored in one match. All right, so that is the purpose of frequency table. Now, a lot of the times when we have this type of question, this is what's given to you, and the question can now ask you to calculate the mean. All right, so instead of writing all of this one by one, okay, this is quite tedious, quite exhausting, right? So what we can do is we can just modify our formula a little bit. Okay, so mean is equal to sigma fx, okay, where this is your f and this is your x, divided by sigma f. Sigma f is actually the same as n. So your n is basically the number of matches, right, which were 13. So therefore the value of sigma f is going to be 13. Why am I saying that this is sigma f? Because if you add these values, okay, that would give you 13. So this is the sum of f values. All right, now sum of fx can be worked out in this manner. So for example, let's see, 0 occurs one time, so 0 occurs one time, 0 times 1. 1 occurs two times, so 1 multiplied by 2. 2 occurs four times, so that covers this part. Then 3 times 3, that covers this part. Then 4 times 2, that covers this part. And then 5 times 1 covers this part. Okay, so you can see that this is actually a lot more concise and easier to write rather than adding all the values. Especially this really comes in handy when you have a large set of data. For example, here I only took the data for 13 matches. What about the whole season? There could be, I don't know, 28 matches, there could be 40 matches, and so on, right? So you're not going to add all the values individually. So that's why we use the frequency table. So once you apply this formula, okay, divide by 13, you will end up with the same value, which is 32 divided by, sorry, there's a typo here. This is 32 divided by 13. So that gives us 2.46, the same answer. All right. So let's take a look at another example. The following frequency distribution table shows the test scores of 32 students. So this is just a typical exam type question. So this is how the data will be given. First, you have the test scores, okay, which will be your X values, and then you have frequency, which tells us that how many times each value is repeating in the data set. Okay, so the test scores, they range from 0 all the way to 10, and these are the scores of 32 students. Now find the mean, the median, the mode, and range. So we need to find all four of these for this particular data. All right. So first of all, we are planning to calculate the mean, right? So here we are going to use the formula mean equals sigma fx divided by sigma f. Now, sigma f is already given to you, and most of the times it is already given in the question. Sigma f just simply means the number of something, right? So, number of students, and in the previous case, it was the number of matches. All right. So mean is equal to sum of all the scores divided by number of all scores, which is mean equals this. So now I'm going to multiply each one of this. So 0 multiplied by 1, that's over here. Then 1 times 2, 2 times 3. Okay, so follow along. 3 times 2, 4 times 3. Okay, this one. Then 5 times 5, 6 times 4, we are here. 7 times 6 plus 8 times 4 plus 9 times 1 plus 10 times 1. So that covers all of this data. All right. After that, the number of all scores, that would be, sorry, the number of students. Okay. Let me correct this. The number of students. So that would be 32. All right. So now then we simplify it, okay, and once we add all of them, we get 168 divided by 32. So the mean score is going to be 5.25. All right, so if the value that you have worked out is not an exact answer, then try to give your answer to 3SF. All right, okay. Now we need to find out the median. All right, so I don't know why there are so many typo. Okay, now before we can find the median, now in this case we cannot arrange the data in ascending order, because look, in the raw data it was pretty much easy to calculate the median, because we can simply arrange the data in ascending order. So let's say if I try to do this over here, it would be very tedious. So I would start with 0 because it occurs once. Then I'm going to go with 1 that occurs 2 times. Then 2 occurs 3 times, right? Then 3 occurs 2 times, and so on. So that would be it's going to take a lot of time, because there are 32 pieces of data. Okay, so what instead we do is we find the median position. Okay, so if you recall from our previous lecture, we use the formula n plus 1 divided by 2 to find the position of the median, because the value of n is 32, so that would be 32 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 33 upon 2. Okay, so that working is already done here. That is 16.5th position. Okay, so that means that my median is going to be between the 16th data and 17th data. Okay, so when your data is arranged in ascending order, it will be between 16th and 17th term. Now in order to find that, there is something that we work out, an additional piece of information that we need to work out, that is called cumulative frequency. Okay, cumulative frequency is just the addition of the frequency value. So the first one is going to be the first term. The second term over here, that's going to work out by adding this 1 with this 2. So 1 plus 2, that will be 3. Let me show you the working over here. So look, cumulative frequency is just the running total. Okay, so let's say the first value is going to be the same as the first frequency value. The subsequent values are going to be worked out by this cross addition. So 1 plus 2, that gives us 3. The next term will be worked out by adding this 3 with this 3. So you get 6. 6 plus 2, you get 8. 8 plus 3, you get 11. 11 plus 5 and 16, and so on and so forth. How can you verify that your cumulative frequency is correct? That is, the last value should be the value of n. Okay, so in our case the value of n was 32, right? 32 students. So this should be your last value. All right, now from here we can see we were interested in 16th term and the 17th term. Okay, so this is the first term, then second and third term are 2, then until the sixth term, you have 3. Until the eighth term, you have 2. Okay. So let's see. The 16th term, because this is the 16th term, right? So the 16th term is 5. After that, we have 20. Why is it 20? Because after 16 terms, so let's say that the 16th position was 5. After that, 6 was occurring 4 times. The score of 6 was occurring 4 times, right? So therefore this would be your 16th position, and sorry, the 16th term is going to be 5. The 17th term is going to be 6. Okay, so let me explain that one more time in case if you missed out. The 16th term, is going to be 5. All right, after 16th term, let me write it in this way. You have 16th term, then you have 17th term, then you have 18th, 19th, 20th, and then you have 21st. Okay, now 16th term is going to be 5. Okay, this one, the score of 5. After that, you can see that the 16th term is going to be 5. After that, 6 is going to occur how many times? 4 times. So therefore my next scores will be 6, 6, 6, and 6. Then after that it would be 7. So this is how my data is actually continuing. All right, so that's how you read the data from the frequency table. All right, okay, so now we know that our 16th and 17th term are 5 and 6. So now we're going to work out the mean of these two values. So that would be 5 plus 6 divided by 2, which is 11 upon 2. That gives us 5.5. So this is your median score. Okay, all right, the third part of the question was to work out the mode. Okay, the mode is basically the most repeated value in a data set. Okay, so how do you work that out? We see that which one has the highest frequency. So if you look over here in the frequency table, which particular score has the highest frequency? So you can notice that this is the highest frequency. That means that mode is going to be 7. Okay, all right, so I think there's mistake over here. This should be 7. Okay, because the frequency of 7 is the greatest, right? So because the score of 7 has the highest frequency, therefore we can see that the mode is going to be 7. All right, okay, now the next one is range. The fourth part of the data that we need to work out is the range of the data. So we can see that the highest score is 10 and the lowest possible score is 0. Therefore, the range is going to be 10 minus 0, which is equal to 10. Okay. All right. So now that our lecture is done, let us start some questions related to our today's topic. Okay. Question number one is, each member of a group of 50 people was asked how many films they watched in a month. The results are shown in the table. So you have a frequency table. So your data goes from 0 all the way to 5. Okay, and this is the frequency. So it says find the mode. All right. So we just discussed that mode is the most repeated value. So you have to look for the highest frequency. Okay. So whenever the question is about mode, you have to look for the highest frequency value. Okay. So we can see that from here, the highest frequency is this. Now that does not mean the mode is 15. This only tells you how many times it is occurring. The mode is going to be 3. Okay. Because this is your data. All right. So let's say if I were to write this down, 0 occurs 5 times. Okay. So 0, then 0, then 0, then 0. So this occurs 5 times. After that, 1 continues, and we have to write 1 12 times. So let's say this continues, and this is the 12th time that I'm writing 1. After that, we have to write 2 for 13 times, and so on. This is how the raw data continues. Okay. So the mode is going to be 3. All right. Now, the next one is calculate the mean number of films watched in a month. Okay. Now, so because this is ungrouped frequency table, the formula is slightly different than what we did last time. The formula is sigma fx divided by sigma f. Okay. So here we take the first value of our data set and we multiply this by the frequency. So this is my x and this is my f. Okay, so we have to do fx, right? Plus, then 1 multiplies with 12. Okay, so this multiplies with this multiplies with this. So 2 times 13, then 3 times 15, then 4 times 4 plus 5 times 1. Okay, after that, sigma f is the sum of all these frequency values, which is the same as n, right? So it is already given to you that there were 50 people. So therefore the value will be 50. There are some rare cases where they don't actually tell you right away, but they have already given you the frequency table. So you are expected to add them up and then work out the value of sigma f. Okay, so let me add them up. So we have, so we can just ignore 0. Then we have 1 times 12 plus 2 times 13, 3 times 15 plus 4 times 4 plus 5. Okay, so here let me first write them separately. So this is 26, then 3 times 15 is 45, then we have 16, then we have 5 divided by 50. So let me add them up. Okay, so this comes out to be 104 divided by 50. So this gives us 2.08. So that would be my mean number of films that were watched in a month. Okay. All right. The next part is find the median. Okay. So for median, we always work out the median position first. So that would be n plus 1 divided by 2. So we have 50 people plus 1 upon 2. So that is 51 upon 2, which is 25.5th position. Okay. So 25.5th position basically means between 25th term and 26th term, right? Okay, so first, now in order to clearly see where is my 25th, we now need another row or another column in this case, and that would be the column for cumulative frequency. Okay, so this would be my cumulative frequency. Just for short form, I'm writing CF. So the first one is going to be 5. The next one will be worked out by adding these two values. So 5 plus 12, that would be 17. Then 17 plus 13, that would be 30. 30 plus 15, that would be 45. 45 plus 4, that would be 49. And 49 plus 1, that would be 50. Okay. Now from here, we are interested in 25th term and 26th term. So you can see that the first 17 terms, sorry, the 17th term is going to be 1. Okay. After that, until the 30th term, it is 2 which is occurring. Okay. So therefore, my 25th term is also going to be 2 and my 26th term is also going to be 2. So therefore, if I try to work out the mean of these values, that would actually be the same because 2 plus 2 is 4 divided by 2, which is same, right? So if you're trying to find the mean of two same values, it is actually the same. So therefore, the median is going to be, now it's up to you. If you want, you can simply write 2, or if you want to show the whole working, that would be 2 plus 2 upon 2. That is also equal to 2. Okay. All right. The next question is find the range. So we know that the range is highest value minus the lowest value. So the highest value in our data is 5. The lowest is 0. So the range is going to be 5 minus 0, which is equal to 5. Okay, so let's move to question number 2. The table shows information about the number of pets owned by 24 students. So this is the number of pets. We have all the way from 0 till 6, and these are the frequencies. Calculate the mean number of pets. So the mean is sigma fx divided by sigma f. This is your f and this is your x. Okay, so this would be 0 multiplied by 1 plus 1 multiplied by 2 and so on. 2 times 3 plus 3 times 5 plus 4 times 7 plus 5 times 3 plus 6 times 3. The number of students, right? Sigma f is the sum of frequency values, which is 24. So this is 0. So 1 times 2, we have 2 plus 6 plus 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 7 is 28. Then 5 times 3 is 15. And then 6 times 3 is 18 divided by 24. Let me work this out. So 2 plus 6 is 8. Then we have plus 15 plus 28 plus 15 plus 18 divided by 24. Sorry, first let me work this one out. So this is 84 and then divide by 24. Okay, so that gives us 3.5. So this is my mean. Okay, so let's move to question number 3. The marks of 30 students in a spelling test are shown in the table below. Find the mean, median, mode, and range of these marks. Okay, so this is a 7-mark question. Okay, quite a heavy question, you see. So let's see. First, we need to find the mean. So mean is going to be sigma fx divided by sigma f. Okay, how about you pause the video and try to work this out by yourself, because we have seen a couple of questions on how to do this, right? So you can pause the video now and then try to work it out. Then when you unpause it, you can see the solution. So here, first we have to multiply 0 with 2 plus 1 times 4 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 5 plus 4 times 6 plus 5 times 8. Sigma f is going to be the total number of students, right? Which is 30, the value of n. So this becomes 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 24 plus 40 divided by 30. So let us add them up. 4 plus 10 plus 15 plus 24 plus 40. Okay, so that gives us 93 divided by 30. Okay, so 93 upon 30, that gives us 3.1. Okay, so this is going to be your mean. Now for median, first we need to find out the position of the median. So we can work it out by using the formula n plus 1 upon 2. So n is going to be 30 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 15.5th position. Okay, so this is the position of the median. That means that the median occurs between 15th and 16th position or 16th term. So now in order to work this out, we have to add another row in this table, which is for the cumulative frequency, or you can call it the running total. So the first value is always the same as frequency. The next values are worked out by adding the next frequency values. So 2 plus 4, 6, 6 plus 5, 11, 11 plus 5, 16, 16 plus 6, 22, and 22 plus 8, that is 30. Now we can see that until 11 terms, we have the mark 2, right? After 11th term, the 12th term is going to be 3, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. All of these terms will be 3. Okay, so we can see that both 15th term as well as the 16th term are going to be 3. So therefore, the median is also going to be 3. Okay, so we can say both 15th and 16th terms are equal to 3. So even if I try to work out the mean as we usually do, 3 plus 3 upon 2 would be 6 upon 2. That would be 3. So that's how you can get the answer, but you don't have to show this working. Okay, no need to show this working. All right. The next one is to find the mode. So the mode is the most repeated value, which is given by the highest frequency value. So the highest frequency is 8, right? So the mark for this is 5. So mode is going to be 5. Now we need to find out the range. Range is given by subtracting the highest value minus the lowest value. The highest value is 5 throughout our data set, and the lowest value is 0. So we have 5 minus 0, which is equal to 5. Okay. All right. So let's move to the next question. The table shows the marks gained by some students in their English test. Okay, so these are the marks 52, 75, 91, and the number of students are X, 45, 11. The mean mark for these students is 70.3. So they have already given you the mean. You need to find the value of X. This is just a different variation of asking the question, the what is the mean, right? If the question was that calculate the mean, so how would we have started the question? We would have started with the formula, right? So I'm going to do the same thing, except that right now we already know the mean. So I'm going to write 70.3 on this side. And on the right hand side, I'm going to continue my working as I normally would, right? So the mark, this is your X value, the number of students, that is your frequency. Okay, how many students got this mark? How many students got this mark? And how many students got this mark? So that is the frequency, right? So 52 times X, we have 52X plus 75 times 45 plus 91 times 11 divided by, now Here we don't know how many students are there, but we know that sigma f means adding all the frequency values. So this would be x plus 45 plus 11. Now we're going to simplify this. So 70.3 is equal to 52x plus. Now 75 times 45 is 3375, and 91 times 11 is 1001, divided by x plus, this would be 56. Okay, now we are going to multiply both sides by x plus 56. So this is 70.3 times x plus 56. So we shift this whole bracket to the other side, and on the right hand side we have 52x plus, we add them up, so we get 4376. Now here we have 70.3x plus 70.3 times 56 will be 3936.8 equals 52x plus 4376. Now we're going to collect the like terms. So x values should be on one side and your constants should be on the other side. So I can say 70.3x minus 52x. This 52x goes to the other side, whereas this value 3936.8 goes to the other side. Now let us calculate this. 70.3 minus 52 gives us 18.3x, whereas the other side, that gives us 439.2. So now x will be 439.2 divided by 18.3. Okay, and let us work this out. So this gives us 24 exactly. Okay, so the value of x is going to be 24. All right, so that is the end of our today's topic, and that is also the end of our video. So in the next video we will start a new subtopic, and that would be the last topic for this chapter. So I'll see you in the next video then. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.